There are so much absurdly fun video games, some that really famous, some that are not, and some that are so good and important that everyone should play at least once in life to have that experience that changed the world of video games in its time. So today I want to talk about 10 of these games, and remembering, that's just my opinion. If you want to leave your in the comments, I'll really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, like the video, subscribe for more, and let's go!
Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north, where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
Dark Souls 1 is the second Souls-like game ever released. The first one was Demon Souls, developed by the same team, the studio From Software, but Dark Souls 1 was a clear evolution in all aspects comparing to Demon Souls. That was an excellent game too, but not as Dark Souls in my opinion. The game was released in 2011 to Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC, and in that moment the game surprised many people around the world because it was a unique game, with things that we didn't see in that time, like a world that doesn't tell you what to do, or even a game where the weakest enemies can easily kill you, making you go all the way back to try again. But today we know that the game is not that hard. It's even simple once you understand, and in my opinion everyone should play this game at least once in life, because it changed video games forever, being considered a revolution in the industry. And today you can play the remastered version too. That's available in all platforms.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead. Right? You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now.
Let me give you a nibble of advice. Don't even consider not in your state.
Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is the biggest adventure of Zelda's series. The game is set in a huge open world with infinite possibilities and a good story. The game was developed by Nintendo and released in 2023 to Nintendo Switch, and so far it's exclusive of that console. What's bad for a side, cause it's a weak console, but Nintendo announced that there will be a better version on Nintendo Switch 2, and it shall run really better there. The game follows Link, a young warrior that's usually searching a way to save the Princess Zelda, and here it's not much different, but this game is impressive in its details, with a huge open map, and infinite things to do, and imagine that everything in this game can be done in a different way, and no, the game won't show you the way, just give the tools. This is the sequel of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but I'd say it's not so required to play Breath of the Wild first. This one is bigger, and greater than the first in this style, so, you must play it.
Link.
Doom 1, released in 1993, is a game that changed the industry forever. It wasn't the true first FPS game. Wolfenstein came 1 year before, and we also had some first-person games before that wasn't a true FPS as we know. The style we know was created in 1992 with Wolfenstein 3D, and in the next year the same studio did Doom. That was a true success and is to this day one of the biggest video game series. The studio was ID Software. That's the studio making Doom to this day. The game was a 2D game that simulated a 3D visual. You could walk, activate buttons, aim in all horizontal directions, and of course, shoot, with many different weapons through different stages, killing many different enemies and even boss fights. Today the game is still really good to play, with a fluid and fun gameplay, nice soundtrack, and a lot of secrets. You can play it in all platforms that exist, and there's a remaster version, Doom 1 Plus 2, with both of these Doom games and other classic Doom experiences.
When I came here with my friends, we didn't have a care in the world. That was then. This is now.
Far Cry 3 is the most beloved game of this first-person shooter series. It was released in 2012, developed by Ubisoft, and today it's available in basically all platforms. Far Cry 1 and 2 were fun. The 2 is to this day the most realistic Far Cry game, with impressive details, but Far Cry 3 brought us a true masterpiece, a game that mixes a fun shooter gameplay with survival mechanics like crafting, skill tree, hunting, and more. The story was really fun, with incredible characters, immersive storytelling, making you feel like you're really surviving there, fighting for your life. And the game was released in a moment that Ubisoft still knew how to make unique missions, with different objectives and approach in every single mission, making every one of them really memorable. Unfortunately, they lost this ability on Far Cry 5, and the 6 just got even worse. But Far Cry 3 is to this day an incredible game that you gotta play.
The savages on this island do unspeakable things.
It is brave to swim a storm, but to sunbathe on a beach with pirates, insanity.
They torture. They murder. They have no remorse.
The year is 2077. An economic crisis culminating in nuclear conflict has left America in pieces. With most of the continent degenerating into lawless war zones, people from all over have converged on the already overcrowded Night City, one of the world's last great megalopolises. A hub amassing the best in resources and know-how, and home to manufacturers of cutting-edge technologies, Night City continues to offer the promise of a
Cyberpunk 2077 is a first-person action RPG in a shooter style. The story of the game is great and immersive, with amazing main and secondary characters and different endings. The game was developed by CD Projekt Red and released in 2020 to Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and in 2022 received the free upgrade to the new generation. And despite its launch wasn't very good, today the game is immensely better. It's set in a steampunk world in a beautiful and nocturnal city with nice missions, with different ways to approach and impressively good secondary stories, even with possible romances like The Witcher 3. In 2023 the game received a DLC with a new map, characters, and even a better story and missions. So you've played the original game, but didn't play the DLC? You should. They added things that the original game was supposed to have at the launch.
People get caught in the crossfire.
Looking for justice. In Night City. I seek revenge. Much more feasible here.
In this world, consumed by never-ending conflict, sometimes only an outsider will get the job done.
Elizabeth tells me you have answers for us. I'm all ears.
And that's you, an urban mercenary, a cyber-enhanced gun for hire.
You seem to understand each other. Take this, too.
You have disrespected the gods for the last time, Kratos! Zeus! Your son has returned!
God of War 3 is the third main episode of Kratos, the most brutal game of the series to this day, and is the last part in the Greek mythology, finishing it in great style. The game was developed by the studio Santa Monica and released in 2010 to PlayStation 3, but today there's a remastered version to PlayStation 4 too. After the deceptions in God of War 1, the track of destruction in Kratos' attempt of revenge in God of War 2, now Kratos is as brutal and bloodthirsty as never, and nothing and no one will stand in his way now. With new weapons, abilities, gadgets, and powers, he'll finally get his revenge. A game that to this day is absurdly beautiful, even on PlayStation 3. You look at the game in that console and just don't believe. Santa Monica did an excellent job in that game, and despite I still prefer God of War 1 and 2, the third game is by far the most impressive game of the classic series.
The gates of Hades have never held me! I will have my revenge!
Super Mario Odyssey is one of the best 3D platformer games ever created. It was developed by Nintendo and released in 2017 to Nintendo Switch. Its style is kinda inspired in classic games of Nintendo 64, like Mario 64 itself, or Banjo-Kazooie. It's set in a lot of different levels with different goals. You gotta collect moons to proceed to the next level, that way reaching the end of the game. The gameplay is fluid and extremely good, and as in any other Mario game, you got different powers, and here you got an special cap that is the second character if you play co-op with a friend, and this cap gives you the possibility to take control of other things. What makes the gameplay even better and unique? The graphics of this game is not realistic, but extremely beautiful and charismatic, each level with different environments and landscapes, giving you a riveting experience. Halo 3 is the biggest and most beloved adventure of Master Chief, an incredible first-person shooter game with a nice story, fluid and insane gameplay, and an amazing soundtrack that will make your playtime really immersive. The game was developed by the studio Bungie and released to Xbox 360 in 2007, but today you can play the game on Xbox One, Series X and S, and Windows as well, and I truly recommend it. The game is a direct sequel of Halo 2 that was already an incredible game, but in the third game Chief will end his journey in a heroic way until his return in Halo 4, yes, but it's not as good as the original games. The campaign of Halo is really immersive and makes the player feel really free and connected to the game, as it gives you many different ways to approach some missions, with many different weapons, firearms, or even melee weapons, cars, motorcycles, planes, ships, and much more. So you'll feel like you're in a true alien warfare, all with an amazing enemy artificial intelligence to this day. What makes it even better?
I am your shield. I am your sword. I know you. Your past. Your future.
Jill, come on! Chris, this way! Make for that mansion!
Resident Evil 1 Remake is one of the best horror games ever released. It's obviously the remake of the first Resident Evil ever, released in 1996. Then the game had a remake for Nintendo GameCube, and today we can play the remaster of the remake in all newest platforms. And yeah, you heard well, remaster of the remake. The original game was a revolution in that moment, delivering an immersive and terrifying video game experience with characters that are beloved to this day, like Chris, Jill, Barry, Albert Wesker, and more, with a fun gameplay, combat, and exploration. The remake brought all this quality to a new level, with better graphics, performance, and even new things in the game that are all really welcome. The main structure is exploration, puzzles, combat, and management of inventory, and also what enemies you shall kill or not, cause you won't find infinite ammo, so you better be careful how you'll spend it. The gameplay won't please everyone today, but if you get used to it, it's an experience you won't ever forget.
The show must go on. It's not like we're out of this yet.
I think you'd better take a look at this.
What is it?
No.
Chris!
Are you prepared to suffer to save your son? You have 5 minutes to cut off the last section of one of your fingers in front of the camera. If you succeed, you will get your reward.
Agent Norman Jaden, FBI.
Heavy Rain was one of the first games in its style that was a true success. It was developed by the studio Quantic Dream and released in 2010 to PlayStation 3 and eventually to PlayStation 4 and Windows. In the game you'll experience a gripping psychological thriller filled with innumerable twists and turns. The hunt is on for a murderer known only as the Origami Killer. For characters, each following their own leads, must take part in a desperate attempt to prevent the killer from claiming a new victim. Controlling multiple characters, in an extremely immersive story, you'll discover more and more things about each one of them and try to solve the main base of the game. That's who's the one killing innocent people. The gameplay is simple. You can walk and interact with things and people. The most important things are the dialogues, what can change the events and ending of the game. So believe me, you'll be really shocked with the plot twist of the game, but you'll need to play to see it.
My name's Scott Shelby. I'm a private detective. I'm investigating the case of the Origami Killer.
I'd like a room.
Madison Page, 27, single.
Ethan Mars has had psychological problems since his first son died. Feels responsible for his death. He is haunted by visions of drowning bodies. A few weeks ago, after one of our usual sessions, I found this on the floor. It must have fallen out of his pocket.
And that's the video, guys. What did you find about the games? Let me know it. Well, click on the like button, subscribe for more, and choose another video in the channel to watch. I'm sure you'll like it. Thanks, and so long.